Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India News Hour, India's voice to the world. I'm Preeti Kaur. Coming up in the next 1 hour. The world gears up for International Day of Yoga 2025. Myriad sessions and activities planned for June 21st, Saturday. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to lead the celebrations from India's coastal city of Visakhapatnam. Prime Minister Modi flags off the first made-in-India locomotive for export in Bihar. The state-of-the-art locomotive will be exported to Republic of Guinea. Israel-Iran air conflict enters the second week. UK and EU to hold talks with Tehran. Trump sets 2-week window over West Asia conflict. Shubman Gill set to debut as India's Test captain as men in blue take on England in the opening match of the series on Friday. Yoga is about plugging into an uninterrupted source of power. India prepares for the grand celebration of the 11th International Day of Yoga on 21st of June, with the government rolling out a wide range of events across the country under this year's theme, that is Yoga for One Earth, One Health. This year's celebration is a powerful message of harmony, sustainability and shared well-being. We bring you key takeaways from International Day of Yoga 2025 in our next report.
1st June 2025 marks 11 years of International Day of Yoga. Theme for the International Day Yoga 2025 is Yoga for One Earth, One Health. The theme reminds us that caring for our planet is caring for our health. Prime Minister Modi will spearhead the nation in a grand yoga session from Visakhapatnam. International Day of Yoga will be observed in a synchronized yoga session based on the Common Yoga Protocol, a structured 45-minute routine. Over 100 nations come together to celebrate wellness as one in CYD. Over 1 lakh plus locations across India will come together to host synchronized CYD sessions. PM Yoga Awards are set to honor individuals and organizations making a real difference through yoga. International Day of Yoga impact over the years. Since 2014, June 21st has been the world's official day to celebrate yoga. From millions to over 24 crore participants, the global yoga movement keeps growing. India has become a global wellness ambassador through yoga. Even the pandemic couldn't pause world's commitment to yoga. More people now see yoga as a path to staying healthy. Yoga is reaching people of all ages, backgrounds, and health conditions. Youth are embracing yoga like never before. Signature events for International Yoga Day 2025. The International Yoga Day 2025 comes with 10 signature events. Each signature event is designed to spotlight yoga's impact across different sections of the society. Yoga Sangam will bring millions together for one massive morning of yoga. Yoga Bandhan is building bridges through international yoga exchanges. Harit Yoga is blending yoga with actions that heal the planet. Yoga Samavesh is creating space for those with unique health needs. Yoga Unplugged is turning yoga into a movement young people can relate to. Yoga Mahakumbh is making yoga feel like joyful citywide festival. Yoga Connect is bringing global experts together to share and grow the practice. Yoga Connect is uniting global voices to shape the future of yoga. Some Yoga is bridging yoga with modern and traditional medicine. Yoga Park is turning public parks into everyday yoga zones. Bureau Report, DD India.
And now we take you to Visakhapatnam, where the stage is all set for a grand celebration of the International Day of Yoga 2025. Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister will join thousands in a display of unity, wellness and India's timeless gift to the world. DD India's Siddharth Bhardwaj gets us more.
Yoga for One Earth, One Health. This is a theme of International Day of Yoga 2025. And I'm here in Visakhapatnam. Behind me, you can see the stage where Prime Minister Narendra Modi, along with Chief Minister of the state N. Chandrababu Naidu, will lead over 5 lakh people in performing the common yoga protocol. This is the street which will be filled up with the people. This is almost 10-kilometer stretch which will be filled up with the people who will be performing yoga tomorrow on 21st of June, which is known as the International Day of Yoga. Well, June 21st has its own significance as to why this particular day was chosen on June 21st, because it is summer solstice, the biggest day in the northern hemisphere, and when it comes to the cultures, it holds a great significance in different parts of the world. The security protocol here is pretty tight. Different teams of police personnel along with other teams have been deployed to make sure that everything goes in a smooth line manner. It was in the year 2014 when the United Nations proclaimed this day as the International Day of Yoga, and this is the 11th International Day of Yoga. People, especially youngsters, are saying that they have already inculcated yoga in their everyday lives, and in fact they are inspiring their friends, families and relatives to take yoga in their everyday life. And people are very exciting for tomorrow, and it's not just a one-day observance. This is something which inspires millions out there to take yoga, to practice yoga in their everyday lives. It is affordable, it is cheap. One thing which requires is the consistency. With camera person Gaurav Giri, this is Siddharth Bhardwaj reporting for TD India in Visakhapatnam.
Our correspondent Siddharth Bhardwaj also caught up with the Secretary of the Ministry of Ayush, Vaidya Rajesh Kotocha, to understand the scale of preparations and what makes this year's event truly special. Let's listen in.
For One Earth, One Health. This is a theme for International Day of Yoga 2025. We have with us the Secretary of Ayush, Mr. Vaidya Rajesh Kotecha. Hi sir, tell us about the preparations, how they are going on.
You may see that along this RK beach, there is a 26-kilometer stretch will be, will be covered with the yoga enthusiasts tomorrow. The special thing about this event is that this will be participated by 500,000 people, which will be a world record. Earlier record was 165,000, 1,65,000. So it will surpass that record. Not only that, we have this Yoga Sangam program. Yoga Sangam is like that. We are registering the events across the country. Today we have closed the registration to 1 million, and I am so happy to mention that tomorrow's program will be a world record. And today also Andhra Pradesh government is doing another world record event, that is 25,000 tribal students are doing Surya Namaskar 108 times. So it will happen today.
Yoga has to be there in rural areas as well. What all is ministry doing to make sure that yoga reaches in rural areas as well and people adopt it as daily practice?
Actually, our Honorable Prime Minister writes to Gram Pradhans, the village head, every year. This year also, he has written 1.5 months back. We did follow up. We have ensured that this letter of Honorable Prime Minister to village Pradhan, Gram Pradhan, reaches them. So it reached. We followed up with all this ecosystem of village. There is a huge momentum, and that is reflecting into 1 million participation. And then this is converting into an ecosystem of behavior change of people. And eventually, we all know that if people do yoga every day, it's not only provide them the physical health and mental health, but spiritual health also.
What is the ministry's plan to inculcate more and more people into IDY in future, and also to make sure that more and more people take yoga as part of their everyday lives?
Actually, that is why we are integrating yoga and this home-based practices, health practices, which is thousands of years old, and they're all scientific. So we are translating it through our National Ayush Mission across the country. With the public health, we are working together with the states, and we are actually very much successful into this.
Yoga is the way forward, and the preparations here in Vizag are in full swing to make sure that everything goes in a smooth line manner. And when it comes to the future plans, then the ministry is launching several programs. With camera person Gaurav Giri, this is Siddharth Bhardwaj reporting for DD India in Vizag.
All right, to understand more about yoga, its significance and also the relevance of the 11th International Day of Yoga, we're joined in by guests. We're joined in by Dr. Hansaji Yogendra, Director, the Yoga Institute, Mumbai. And we're joined in by Ambassador C.M. Bhandari, former diplomat and yoga guru. Thank you so much, both of you, for joining us this afternoon on DD India News Hour. Dr. Yogendra, first, I would ask you to explain to our viewers, given the hectic daily lives we lead, we are pressed for time, we are pressed for energies. To what extent does yoga make our lives easier?
Well, when you start living a yoga way of life, you do every action with a balanced state of mind. When you are doing every action with a balanced state of mind, automatically that action is done correctly. You don't have to waste time. And you can move ahead very easily with right direction, with right state of mind, strength, enthusiasm, zest, good amount of energy. And with the help of yoga, you remain in any case healthy. We are not born to suffer in life. We are born to enjoy every moment of our life. And that we learn how to live yoga way of life. And so here comes a good health, good flexible body which doesn't break, which allows you to function. In case if it breaks because of some accident and all that, it gets corrected also very fast. You don't stop there. If one leg broken, another leg starts moving further and you are still going ahead. So the whole attitude, mindset with yoga is very different. In yoga, we continuously move ahead. The whole definition is from consciousness, our consciousness, to universal consciousness. That is one definition, which says that we are trying to be fully balanced ourselves, and we are trying to get all the energy from the universe towards us. Whole universe is helping me to move ahead in life, and that's how we go ahead. So we are full of zest and enthusiasm, and yoga in any case helps us to have these three things. Like I would put it like that yoga has these three subjects in it. One is human psychology, how human mind works and how mind is supposed to work.
Right.
Human mind works in a way that if something goes wrong, you get upset, but how it is supposed to work. Instead of getting upset, what to do? How to come out of that negative phase as fast as possible. All that yoga tells you.
Yes.
Philosophy. And philosophy is there, which tells you whatever action you do, you face the consequences of the action. You create your own world. So make it sure that you create a better world for you. And technology, where you hear asanas, pranayams, meditation, kriyas, bandhas, mudras,
Right.
and all this Surya Namaskar. So that's yoga.
All right, I'll take that forward to Ambassador C.M. Bhandari. Ambassador Bhandari, I would want you to, help us understand, how is yoga a uniting force for the world in today's times? Earlier we saw that it was music that transcended boundaries and it united people, but in today's modern era, in modern times like these today, we see that it is yoga that is, joining and that is uniting people from all across the world. As a former diplomat, how do you see yoga as a binding force that has brought the nations together in the recent past?
Thank you very much for asking me to join. And this year's theme, One Earth, One Health, is very important because the world, the nature in the world, it's the same, and human body is the same. But still, each individual is different. So as far as this body health is concerned, nature all over the world is helping this body to stay healthy. But unfortunately, these days we find the physical body health is the major issue, and more than the physical health, mental health is even more difficult.
Yes.
So through the yoga practice and internationally, I have seen, right from 1998, when I was in Canada, I found that there was a lot of interest if we presented yoga not just as the physical body postures, but what is the actual definition that yogas chitta vritti nirodha, how to manage our thought process, how to stay in balance. And then we also give some kriyas. Say, for example, what is breath and what is prana? So, if we combine the physical postures with breath and prana, it becomes a very powerful tool to ensure that physically we are in good health. Once physically we are in good health, we then train, and through Bhagavad Gita, through Yoga Sutras, through several of our texts, where we bring out the science. So we are not showing that this is India's tradition. We are showing this is the ultimate science. So yoga and Ayurveda, which are coming from our Vedic literature. And what is Vedic literature is Brahma Vidya, how this Brahman has come into existence. So this one earth and one health is very important to understand that health at physical level, what Hansaji also said, health at the mental level and health at the spiritual level. And this is spiritual level now people are able to understand that we are not talking of religions. This spiritual means the spirit within each individual, which is universal. Again, this is not, divided by faith systems. So therefore, through yoga, really internationally, people have understood the meaning, how it is. Yoga means bring together, combine,
Yes,
unite.
indeed.
And
It is bringing
it is
together.
happening.
Yes. But, sir, as a former diplomat, how would you understand the efforts that have been made by the government and under the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi for the world to recognize yoga as this universal force? This will be the 11th International Day of Yoga that will be celebrated, and for yoga to be taken up by the UN at such a large scale, so much so that an International Day of Yoga is observed every day. How do you see this? A lot goes into convincing the world to sit back and look at how beneficial yoga is, and that too when it comes from the Prime Minister of the country to the world.
Absolutely. I think our Prime Minister, of course, is the highest yogi that I have seen. And only a yogi can think in these terms, that in his very first address to the United Nations General Assembly, in September 2014, first time, I never imagined that our Prime Minister will bring in this idea of an International Day of Yoga. Even though the efforts have been going on from before, and I know of one guru from Portugal who has been campaigning since 2001, and he had met our Prime Minister when he was Chief Minister of Gujarat in 2012, pressing that India should lead this campaign for an International Day of Yoga. And since then, within 6 months, it became the declaration from the United Nations. And not only that, in 2016, through the efforts of our Prime Minister, even UNESCO declared yoga as the intangible heritage of humanity.
Right.
So both in UNESCO, in United Nations, and then all over the world, yoga was being practiced from before also. But now there is more, kind of centrality into it. And the more and more we bring the science of yoga. So not just that we do certain Surya Namaskar or certain other postures. Yoga is actually working at the thought level. How can we ensure that all human beings, if today's, the kind of conflicts we are seeing, and we are talking of Third World War, why it is happening? It's just the thought process. And if through yoga we can engineer people's thought process that, look, why can't we share? We all are here, we have to live together. So therefore, this, effort from our Prime Minister, and that's why he is recognized by each and every leader of the world.
Yes, indeed. At this point, I'll bring in Dr. Hansaji here. Dr. Hansaji, so yoga is not just about poses today, but it has, it is seen as a science in itself. For the benefit of our viewers, very quickly, if I'd ask you to give us some tips, some important asanas which we can do in our daily, everyday lives to keep us grounded, to keep us intact, and to help us, cope up with the everyday pressures that we are facing.
Well, lots can be said here. The point is, first of all, understand that we are not born to suffer in life. We are born to enjoy every moment. If any sickness comes, somewhere the way in which I am living my life, somewhere I am doing mistake. That's why the problem has come. Otherwise, it should not come. Our body itself has its own language to offer. Body itself tells you that what you did, something was wrong, so here is the suffering. For example, you are not flexible and you are standing for a long time, you will feel pain in your knee, leg, or on your back. Body is telling you by giving you a pain. Now you are supposed to immediately listen to your body and see that you go right on your toe or squat down or twist yourself and release the tension of your back. Or walk. Walking itself would help you to release the tension of the back. So movement of your body becomes very important. Body is supposed to be flexible and active, not dull and static. Static for some time is fine, but then after that you have to be active. So maybe I give you some example. Breathing. Very easily people suffer from cold, cough, sinusitis, asthma, allergy, pharyngitis, laryngitis, tonsillitis, all these things. So common. Little change of weather and running nose or sneezing starts. Come on, immediately wake up. Change of weather is there. Little bit make changes in your routines. Eat certain food which is not producing more cough. So have nuts. Have almonds soaked up at night or groundnuts soaked up and cooked and eaten. Direct protein is required to overcome this. Try and see that you have fresh fruits and fresh vegetables in your food. Avoid all processed food, deep frozen food, artificially colored, flavored, vitaminized, mineralized food because they create more toxins in your body. My point is that immediately make some changes according to the weather. That's why earth we are talking about. Make changes and you will not get sick. You will not catch cold. I never catch cold so many years. And I'm staying in a city like Mumbai where pollution also is high. Everything is, and my age is 77. And yet I never catch cold and all that. Immunity is strong. Everything is strong because you become alert before the disease sets in. Once it sets in, then you will have to take medicine. Medicine will have its own effect, good and bad both. So, keeping that in mind, listen to your body language. That's my first suggestion. And you can go on. Your knee is paining, suppose. Come on, do some asanas which would help your knee. So lie down. Lift your leg up slowly and stay in that position for some time. Lift 1 foot above the ground and stay there for some time. Automatically, the muscles which are above knee are going to be strengthened and the pain will disappear. But do this at least twice a day and avoid standing for long. Walk, very good, but avoid standing. I give you my example. One day I found my knee was little bit paining. So I said, this means my knee is getting lazy now that it has started giving me pain. Come on, make it active. So I climbed the steps. I climbed 2 floors, pain was still there little. I climbed the 3rd floor, pain disappeared. After that, pain has not come. The moment pain comes, you are supposed to do something.
Right.
And then little warm water, keep giving little love to your body. Mentally, don't get worried. Mentally release the tension. that no, problem has come to go, not to stay. So these are the way. We have to give a holistic approach to our
All right.
management.
So it is the holistic approach that has to be adopted, and that is what is will be focused when we talk of One Earth, One Health as the theme of International Day of Yoga, the 11th International Day of Yoga. Thank you so much, both of you, for joining us this afternoon on DD India News Hour. And
Namaskar.
still, yes, thank you. The Ministry of Culture will mark the 11th International Day of Yoga by organizing yoga sessions at 100 tourist-based iconic destinations and 50 more cultural sites across the country. Some of the iconic locations hosting the Yoga Day celebrations include UNESCO World Heritage sites such as Rani Ki Vav and Dholavira in Gujarat, Hampi and Pattadakal in Karnataka, Khajuraho Group of Monuments and Sanchi Stupa in Madhya Pradesh, Sun Temple at Konark, along with others. Aligned with global theme of fostering health, harmony and holistic well-being, multiple yoga events have been organized by the Indian Army. At the Defence Services Academy, Myanmar, 45 Burmese officers from diverse age groups took part in the session. Also in Kazakhstan, the Indian Army training introduced yoga to the Kazakh armed forces, emphasizing on the effectiveness in mitigating stress and lifestyle-related health challenges while promoting overall well-being. While in Tashkent, Uzbekistan, the Lal Bahadur Shastri Center for Indian Culture is spearheading this mega event which brings together a wide spectrum of participants. The Indian Army's global participation in International Day of Yoga 2025 reaffirms its commitment to promoting a culture of wellness, mindfulness and shared global values. In a unique and uplifting moment, ahead of the Yoga Day, a dog trained by NDRF, National Disaster Response Force, emerged as the unexpected star of a special yoga session held at the 13th Battalion campus in Jammu and Kashmir's Udhampur. It wasn't a senior officer or a yoga expert, but a stray dog trained by NDRF personnel over 2 years that captured hearts by flawlessly mirroring yoga asanas alongside 55 human practitioners. The event, held on Friday, aimed to promote wellness and mindfulness, but the dog's precision in poses and stretches left everyone in awe. You're watching DD India News Hour. We're heading for a short break. But after the break, in wake of rising tensions between Israel and Iran, different countries make 11th hour efforts to bring their nationals safely back home from Iran. Stay with us for a quick weather update as IMD predicts rain in central and south India. Hurricane Eric wreaks havoc as a Category 3 storm, causing massive devastation across southern Mexico.
Geopolitics and trade deals. Economic challenges amid development. Hard work and the path to prosperity. It's the economy always. Between walkers, money is what money does and says. Supply creates its own demand. Between the bulls pulls and bears tears. When supply chains globalization and India rises to the podium. We'll get you centered with the economic brief at 8 p.m. every Thursday on DD India.
Can the US launch a bombing campaign against Iran? The Philippines vessel suffered structural damage. The saga of child sexual abuse is the United States China's debt trap strategy. Truth is stranger than fiction. But sometimes hard to uncover. Trust us to tell the truth, unadulterated and pure, of every story that matters to you.
Welcome back after the break. You're watching DD Indian News. A quick relook at the top stories now. The world gears up for International Day of Yoga 2025. Myriad sessions and activities planned for June 21st, Saturday. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to lead the celebrations from India's coastal city of Visakhapatnam. Prime Minister Modi flags off first Made in India locomotive for export in Bihar. The state-of-the-art locomotive will be exported to Republic of Guinea. Israel-Iran air conflict enters the second week. UK-EU set to hold talks with Tehran. Trump sets two-week window over West Asia conflict. Shubman Gill set to debut as India's test captain as men in blue take on England in the opening match of the series on Friday. Another day of attacks, counter-attacks and bombarding continued between Israel and Iran. The week-long conflict seems to be escalating with each passing day, with no sign yet of an exit strategy from either of the sides. Israel attacked Iranian Special Forces headquarters, the internal security apparatus in Tehran, and bombed nuclear targets. Israeli military strikes hit Iran's Kondab heavy water research reactor, a project under construction that had not begun operating, and damaged the nearby plant that makes heavy water. Earlier, Israel said it had struck Iran's Natanz and Isfahan nuclear sites. It also targeted the partially built Arak heavy water research reactor, also known as Kondab, in central Iran. It was in response to Iran firing missiles and drones at Israel. It accused Iran of deliberately targeting civilians in the hospital attack by using a missile that scattered smaller bombs over a wider area. It was the first reported use of cluster munitions in the 7-day-old conflict. One of the small munitions struck a home in central Israeli town of Azor, causing some damage. Cluster bombs are controversial because they indiscriminately scatter submunitions, some of which can fail to explode and kill or injure long after a conflict ends. Iranian strikes also damaged the Soroka Medical Center in Israel's southern city of Beersheba. The foreign ministers of Britain, France and Germany, known as the E3, will be meeting with the European Union's top diplomat Kaja Kallas at Germany's permanent mission in Geneva. France, Germany, Britain and the European Union were all signatories of the 2015 nuclear agreement with Iran, which Trump sunk during his first term in office. The EU's Kallas, in coordination with European countries, has insisted that diplomacy remains the best path towards ensuring that Iran does not develop a nuclear bomb. Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi would also join these talks on his country's nuclear program with the counterparts. US President Donald Trump has kept the world guessing on his plans, veering from proposing a swift diplomatic solution to suggesting the US might join the fighting on Israel's side. But that may take 2 weeks to decide. Citing a message from Trump, White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt informed the reporters about Trump's plans.
In light of that news, I have a message directly from the President, and I quote, "Based on the fact that there's a substantial chance of negotiations that may or may not take place with Iran in the near future, I will make my decision whether or not to go within the next 2 weeks."
Leavitt also said that Trump was interested in pursuing a diplomatic solution with Iran, but his top priority was ensuring that Iran could not obtain a nuclear weapon. She said that US officials remained convinced that Iran had never been closer to obtaining a nuclear weapon. Tensions are escalating rapidly in the West Asia amid the ongoing conflict between Israel and Iran. In response, countries around the world are moving swiftly to evacuate their citizens from the region. From New Delhi to Lisbon, governments are mounting large-scale operations to bring their nationals back home. Slovakia has temporarily closed the embassy in Tehran and fully evacuated the staff. Here's a comprehensive look at the global evacuation efforts.
India has launched Operation Sindhu to evacuate its citizens from Iran amid growing hostilities. 110 students were flown from Armenia's capital to New Delhi on the first evacuation flight. An estimated 10,000 Indians are currently in Iran. Efforts are also underway to bring back Indian nationals from Israel. There are more than 30,000 Indians in Israel. China has successfully evacuated over 1,600 citizens from Iran, with additional evacuations from Israel ongoing. The Chinese Foreign Ministry confirmed that several thousand nationals remain in the region, with further operations planned as the situation develops. The United States is utilizing both air and sea routes to evacuate its nationals from Israel. US Ambassador stated that flights and cruise ship departures are being arranged with embassy teams assisting the Americans who wish to leave. Germany has conducted multiple evacuation flights from Jordan. On Wednesday, 171 people were flown out of Amman, followed by another 174 on Thursday. Officials confirmed additional flights are scheduled for the weekend. A final group of 65 Polish citizens arrived in Warsaw on Thursday, marking the completion of Poland's evacuation mission from Iran. In Lisbon, Portugal welcomed evacuees at the airport. A repatriation flight carried not only Portuguese citizens but also German, Israel, Czech, Spanish, Austrian, Bulgarian, Argentine, and Ukrainian nationals, highlighting a coordinated multinational effort. France is organizing a ground convoy to transport its citizens from Iran to neighboring Turkey or Armenia. Buses will begin operating from Israel's Jordanian border on Friday with a chartered flight. With the conflict continuing to unfold, countries are racing against time to secure the safety of their citizens. Governments remain on high alert, closely monitoring the situation as evacuation effort expands. Sarita Chaudhary's report, DD India.
Germany's new economy minister is on her visit to Washington, where she also aims to support the ongoing trade negotiations between the EU and the US. Joining us with more is DW correspondent Triponda Shembulu in Berlin. Get us more, what is known about the trip?
Thanks for having me. Well, Germany's Federal Economy Ministry said that negotiations between Brussels and Washington are in what it called a sensitive phase. And the goal right now is to find a balanced and sustainable solution. Now, Berlin also stressed what it called a strong and reliable partnership between the world's two biggest trade partners, the EU and the United States. And the Economy Minister, Katharina Reiche, also mentioned that the United States is Germany's biggest trade partner and that Germany, on the other hand, is the US's fourth biggest trade partner. Now, Europe's largest economy is also the third leading source of foreign direct investment in the United States. And German firms invested 658 billion euros in the US last year. So obviously that does drive the point that tariffs could affect the potential of German firms to invest in the United States.
All right, so that was Triponda Chimbelu telling us more about the meeting of Germany's new economy minister with the leadership in the US. We'll get you some weather updates now. The Indian Meteorological Department issued a yellow alert for the National Capital Region, forecasting wet spells until June 23rd. The weather agency further warned against light to moderate rainfall over northeast India in the coming days. Downpour will be accompanied with thunderstorm and lightning. IMD predicted heavy showers in Uttarakhand, Uttar Pradesh and East Rajasthan until 25th of June. In Jammu and Kashmir and Himachal Pradesh, heavy rainfall is likely on June 22nd and 25th. As Tamil Nadu and coastal Andhra Pradesh witness hot and humid conditions, the weather agency predicted light to moderate rainfall in Andhra Pradesh and Telangana until June 23rd. The weather bulletin notes that isolated heavy rainfall is likely in Goa, Maharashtra and Gujarat until June 25th, while a yellow alert remains in place for Mumbai, urging residents to stay cautious amid risks of localized flooding. Hurricane Eric weakened to a tropical storm after back after the break. You're watching DD India News Hour. President of India, Draupadi Murmu, inaugurated Rashtrapati Niketan at Rajpur Road in Uttarakhand in the presence of Governor, retired Lieutenant General Gurmeet Singh and State Chief Minister Pushkar Singh Dhami. The Rashtrapati Niketan and Rashtrapati Tapovan will be open for public viewing from June 24th. President visited the National Institute for Empowerment of Persons with Visual Disabilities. The visit highlighted the Government of India's commitment to inclusive development and the empowerment of persons with visual impairment. During her visit, the President interacted with students, reviewed the facilities and emphasized on the importance of accessibility and equal opportunities for all. Later in the evening, the President will release a postage stamp on Raj Bhavan, Nainital on the completion of its 125 years. She will be visiting Uttarakhand till June 21st, where the President will participate in a mass yoga demonstration at the Uttarakhand State Police Line Maidan, Dehradun, on the International Day of Yoga. During his visit to Siwan, Bihar, Prime Minister Narendra Modi flagged off a state-of-the-art locomotive built at the Marhaura plant for export to the Republic of Guinea under the Make in India initiative. This is the first export locomotive manufactured in this factory. In a major boost to infrastructure and socio-economic development in Bihar, the Prime Minister laid the foundation stone and inaugurated multiple development projects including rail, water and power sector in Siwan. The Prime Minister inaugurated the new Vaishali-Deoria railway line project worth over 400 crore rupees. The Prime Minister also released the first installment to more than 53,600 beneficiaries of Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana in Siwan in Bihar. Prime Minister also handed over keys to the beneficiaries to mark the Greh Pravesh ceremony of more than 6,600 completed houses of Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana urban. Addressing the gathering at Siwan, Prime Minister Modi highlighted the productive and progressive government schemes for the nation.
हमारी सरकार घर के साथ साथ मुफ्त राशन, बिजली और पानी की सुविधा भी दे रही है। इसमें सिवान के भी 4.5 लाख से अधिक परिवारों को पहली बार नल से जल मिला है। गांवों में हर घर में नल हो, शहरों में पीने के लिए पर्याप्त पानी हो, हम इस लक्ष्य को लेकर काम कर रहे हैं।
Central Bureau of Investigation has successfully coordinated return of Muhyiddin Naba Umar Bieri from UAE through the Interpol channels. Bieri is wanted subject of National Investigation Agency, the International Police Cooperation Unit, CBI, in collaboration with NCB Abu Dhabi, UAE, successfully brought back the wanted red notice subject Bieri to India today. Muhyiddin had procured high-quality fake Indian currency notes at Dubai and transported the same to Bengaluru via Sharjah. The subject is wanted by National Investigation Agency in a case registered on the allegations of counterfeiting Indian currency, that is notes, and cheating and criminal conspiracy. CBI got the red notice published against the subject on 30th of December 2013 through Interpol. He was arrested in the UAE and extradition request was sent to UAE through India's Home and External Affairs Ministries. More than 100 wanted criminals have returned to India in the last few years through coordination via the Interpol channels. India has recorded its strongest presence yet in the QS World University Rankings 2026. 54 Indian institutions are included in the list. IIT Madras also recorded one of the most dramatic improvements in 2016. In fact, 2026, It jumped 47 places to reach the 180th spot. Speaking exclusively to DD India, Director of IIT Madras, Professor V. Kamakoti, emphasized that they are actively planning to establish a full-fledged medical research institute. In the past year alone, the institute has recorded 417 patents and incubated 103 startups, showcasing a strong culture of innovation, research and entrepreneurship that continues to propel IIT Madras to greater heights.
Basically give us an assessment of a 360-degree assessment of the institutions, and we find that many institutions have done very well, specifically on the academic reputation, employer reputation, the international research network, and also the interdisciplinary efforts that had been taken, leading to a lot of good improvement in the sustainability parameters. We see very good impact in these. The national education policy has quite helped. The interdisciplinary emphasis that the policy put has certainly played an important role. All these rankings basically.
Also, students at IIT Madras are equally excited about the significant improvement in the global rankings. They believe this achievement is the result of a collective effort that is the synergy between the unwavering support of the faculty and the dedication of the students.
It's of course very beautiful, and we have a lot of opportunities and chances to grow in this. Whether you are BTech, MTech, PhD, MS, there are so many courses to avail and so many projects and research topics to work upon. So it's very nice to get enrolled into. Just a lot of competition is there, but it's a healthy competition and helps you grow and nurture. So we are very excited about the world ranking 180, and of course we are NIRF ranking 1. So it just adds to our title.
Rank 180 in QS ranking, and currently they are also 3rd place in India. It's something I'm actually excited about because there is an institution that I have learned a lot from, especially in the area of research. We do a hands-on research in the area of innovation, especially in our Department of Civil Engineering, where I'm currently doing masters. So I actually enjoy some of the research because they are all hands-on research, and we have a lot of professors who are all professionals. And these professors, they are so friendly. They know actually what they are doing. They have the experience.
All right, from here we now turn focus to sports. We'll talk of cricket. A new era begins for Indian Test cricket as they face England in a 5-match series starting from today at Headingley, Leeds. With Rohit and Virat stepping away from the red ball duties, it's time for the next generation to take the charge. Let's take a look at how India is shaping up for this big overseas challenge.
A new summer and a new Test series is upon us. England is set to host India in a 5-test match series, which is going to start on June 20 in Leeds. India is up against England after losing the Border Gavaskar Trophy and also missing out on the WTC final spot. They lost a home series against New Zealand as well, but on the other hand, England is in a strong position. They have been dominant since 2020. Talking about India, there are new players, a new look India, with Shubman Gill as the captain and Rishabh Pant as the vice captain. Both Shubman Gill and Rishabh Pant have a responsibility on themselves, as new captain Shubman Gill has a 15-run average in England. Also, Rishabh Pant, who has a good record in England, hasn't scored a big score since the past year. Rishabh Pant has also scored more centuries in England than in India. Also talking about India's batting lineup, there is Karun Nair. Karun Nair is a player who has been waiting for cricket to give him another chance. And finally, he has been recalled to the Indian side after 8 years, performing tremendously in domestic cricket. Now it's his chance to cement himself permanently in the Indian team. Rishabh Pant, Shubman Gill and players like Karun Nair as well will be looking to cement themselves in the team, not only as players but also as beacon of future of Indian cricket. But also one thing is crucial, which is India's bowling. Tricky English conditions need pacers to fire up. And as the past tells, that India is too reliant on Jasprit Bumrah. In 9 matches he's played at England, he has taken 37 wickets. But again, as we know, being too over-reliant on him can put him under pressure and also have an injury scare. There is Mohammad Siraj, there is Prasidh Krishna, there is Shardul Thakur, there is Akashdeep Singh, there is Arshdeep Singh as well, who can swing the ball both sides. India will miss the services of veteran players like Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma and Ravichandran Ashwin, and that is why it's a test for a new look Indian team. Talking about England, they have Zach Crawley at the top, they have Joe Root, they have Ben Stokes, and Ben Stokes, as we know, can swing the ball as well, give you those handy 3-4 overs in between. Talking about England's bowling, it looks a bit thinner than India's bowling lineup, which is stacked. They have Chris Wokes, they have Jamie Overton as well, and they have Josh Tongue as well, but England's bowling seems to be a bit thinner than India. The first test match is crucial. It not only sets the tone for the upcoming matches, but it also tells us how new Indian players are adapting to the English conditions. One thing is for sure, a 5-test match series, a new look India, and a new World Test Championship cycle. It is going to be an exciting affair. With cameraman Vishwa Bandhu, this is Meher Raj Singh for DD India, Delhi.
After back-to-back second-place finishes, reigning javelin throw world champion Neeraj Chopra will hope to clinch the top spot at the Paris Diamond League, which kicks off in France on Friday. Neeraj Chopra returns to the tournament after 8 years, having last competed in 2017 when he was a junior world champion. The javelin throw ace, who will be India's sole representative at the event, has competed in 3 events so far this year. The Paris leg is the 8th of the 15 meetings that make up the 2025 Diamond League season, which will culminate with 2 days final in Switzerland in August. With that, we end this edition of DD India News Hour, but let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those of you on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on the DD India mobile app. This app is available on both Android and iOS platforms, and you can download the respective QR codes. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Preeti Kaur signing off, and from all of us in Delhi, thanks for watching DD India News Hour.